Gohan finally decides to answer Whis' invitation to train on Beerus's planet and impresses Goku. Now that Gohan has achieved his new transformation, he needs to train, and there is no one better than Whis to teach him to totally control his power. This is exactly what is happening, but calm down and I will explain all this to you. So, without further ado, let's go. Gohan has always been a unique character within Dragon Ball, not only because of his lineage, but because of the way his power developed over time. From a very young age, he demonstrated an absurd potential, something that even surprised Goku and Piccolo. However, an important detail that often goes unnoticed is that, unlike other warriors, Gohan never had a fixed master who molded his evolution from start to finish. Unlike Goku, who had a solid foundation with Master Roshi and then expanded his horizons with other trainers, Gohan grew up as a warrior in an almost fragmented way, absorbing parts of Piccolo's and Goku's training, but never having anyone to guide all his steps. Piccolo, without a doubt, was Gohan's first mentor, practically a father figure in certain aspects. He was the one who pulled out Gohan's more warrior side, forcing him to face cruel challenges from childhood. It was with Piccolo that Gohan learned to survive, to fight in extreme situations, and to awaken the power that slept within him. However, Piccolo was also limited in terms of techniques and methods. He taught based on hardness and discipline, not refinement. This molded Gohan to be a brute and resilient fighter, but not a martial artist at the same technical level as Goku, for example. Goku, his father, had a different relationship in the aspect of training. Despite being an example of constant self-improvement and evolution, he was never a fixed teacher for Gohan. Goku mostly trained by himself and occasionally pulled Gohan along, but never took on the role of a constant guide. In fact, Goku always preferred Gohan to follow his own path, believing that his strength would come naturally when necessary. This worked at key moments, such as in the fight against Cell, but it also left gaps in Gohan's development. If we compare Gohan with Goku, the difference becomes clear. Goku started small with Master Roshi, where he learned not only moves but also fundamentals of discipline, strategy, and even notions of how to grow gradually as a fighter. Afterwards, Goku had contact with masters like King Kai and Whis, who complemented each phase of his journey. In contrast, Gohan never had that continuity. He was trained in moments of crisis, grew under pressure, and often completely abandoned training when the dangers passed. This detail helps explain why Gohan is one of the most inconsistent characters in terms of power. He reaches absurd levels of strength in a short time, such as when he transformed into Super Saiyan 2 against Cell, or when he awakened his mystic potential with the Elder Kai. However, when he is not in combat, he simply stagnates because he does not have the discipline of a fixed master to maintain his constant evolution. This differentiates him even from Vegeta, who is driven by obsession and trains on his own without needing someone to pressure him. It is interesting to think that if Gohan had had a master like Master Roshi to consolidate his foundations and transform him into a complete martial artist, perhaps he would have become the most unbeatable warrior in the Dragon Ball universe. He has something that even Goku does not possess, a combination of natural genius and brute combat instinct. But since there was never this continuous polishing, his power emerges explosively, almost like a bomb that only detonates in moments of need. Another relevant point is that Gohan was always more of a scholar than a fighter. This contributed to him never looking for someone as a fixed master, as his focus was not on training every day, but on having a normal life. Goku, on the contrary, lived to fight, and Vegeta to surpass his limits. Gohan, on the other hand, wanted stability, so even if he had found a master to guide him, he might not have followed that path due to his own nature. Even so, we can notice that when Gohan dedicates himself, even for a short period, the results are impressive. His quick training with Piccolo before the Tournament of Power is a clear example. In a short time, he managed to reach a level of power capable of facing extremely strong enemies, all because he refocused. This shows that, with discipline and guidance, he could surpass even Goku and Vegeta. Another curious aspect is the way Gohan did not have contact with more technical masters. He never trained with King Kai, never learned Master Roshi's unique techniques, or even Whis' refined methods. This means that much of what he achieved was through internal power bursts and not methodical learning. In other words, Gohan is not the result of a long path of training, but of sudden peaks of evolution. This fragmented path can also be seen as a metaphor for the character. Gohan has always been someone divided between two worlds, that of warriors and that of common life. He trained when necessary, but abandoned it as soon as the danger passed. He was never like Goku, who seeks to be better every day, or Vegeta, who lives to surpass. This duality caused his relationship with masters to always be fleeting and not continuous. The most impressive thing is that even without a fixed master, Gohan managed to remain as one of the strongest characters in the Dragon Ball universe. This is a testament to his natural talent and his hybrid genetic heritage. He is capable of reaching levels that others only achieve with years of disciplined training. This shows that, had he had a fixed guide like Master Roshi, Gohan would have become practically unstoppable. Today, looking at Gohan's trajectory, it is clear that he never needed a fixed master to stand out. But it is also evident that this left him as a character of peaks and falls, and not of constant growth. His strength depends on context, moments, and the internal motivation to protect those he loves. He is therefore a singular warrior, molded not by traditional methods, but by circumstances and emotions. Exactly here is where things can take a completely different turn for Gohan. Until then, he always had this fragmented development without a fixed master to guide him fully. But now, with the awakening of his beast form, something has changed drastically. This transformation caught the attention of everyone, including Whis, who is someone capable of seeing the potential of any warrior in the universe. The simple fact that Whis has shown interest in this power is an indication that Gohan may be about to tread a completely new path in his life as a fighter. Whis is an angel, a being who transcends all traditional forms of training seen so far. He does not train based on brute force or just martial technique. What he teaches is mastery over oneself, the balance between mind, body, and instinct. And this is exactly what Gohan has always needed, someone who could not only unleash his power but polish it, transforming his strength into something constant and stable. The beast form, despite being incredibly powerful, still carries the same mark of all Gohan's evolutions. It emerged explosively in a moment of crisis. If Gohan really trains with Whis, he can learn to control the beast form and at the same time further expand his potential. Unlike the training Goku and Vegeta received, Gohan could approach this in a unique way, as his gentle spirit and intellect would make him absorb Whis' lessons differently. He is not driven by the obsession to surpass limits like Vegeta, nor by the love of battle like Goku. Gohan could find his own balance, a new path that would make him distinct even among the Saiyans. Whis would probably see a rare opportunity in Gohan. After all, Gohan has a combination of hybrid power and brute instinct that neither Goku nor Vegeta possess. This blend may be the key to creating a completely new type of warrior, someone who might go beyond what we have already seen with Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego. Imagine Gohan mastering Beast as a stable form, without needing the fury or despair that triggered it. This would place him at a level close to, or even superior to, any other mortal in the universe. And this is where the threat of Black Frieza comes in. Until now, neither Goku with Ultra Instinct nor Vegeta with Ultra Ego have been able to truly rival him. Frieza showed a cold mastery and absurd strength, proving that he is not just an ordinary enemy, but the greatest challenge the Z-Fighters have ever faced. In this scenario, Gohan becomes essential. His beast form may be the only force capable of equaling what Frieza built in terms of evolution, but for that, he needs control, discipline, and refinement, things that only Whis can offer. This possible training could also mean a new dynamic within the group. Goku and Vegeta would be facing an unprecedented situation, seeing Gohan, someone they themselves only partially trained, now receiving Whis' complete teaching. This would not only strengthen Gohan, but also show that he has a definitive role in the fight against Frieza, something that perhaps even the two protagonists could not achieve alone. This new friendly rivalry could boost everyone, but with a special focus on Gohan, who would finally have a fixed master to guide him. It is worth remembering that Whis has already shown curiosity about the Saiyan hybrid's potential. He saw the power of Trunks and Goten, but in Gohan, there is something different, an almost unlimited intensity, which does not depend only on physical training, but also on the strength of his mind and heart. By training with Whis, Gohan could reach a stage where the beast form becomes as natural as the base state, without exhaustion, without uncontrolled energy loss. Another interesting point would be the way Whis would deal with Gohan's personality. He He is not like Goku and Vegeta, who accept everything as a game or an endless challenge. Gohan would need training that aligned with his own vision of life, someone who respected his studious nature, but at the same time encouraged him to never abandon the power he possesses. Whis, with his calmness and wisdom, would be the perfect master to unite these two sides of Gohan. If this path truly materializes, Gohan could become a key piece, not only against Black Frieza but in any future threat. He would be the first to unite the Saiyan heritage, the hybrid awakening, and the angelic refinement in a single body. This would not only expand his relevance within the story, but also place him as a new type of warrior in the Dragon Ball universe. Training with Whis would also open space for Gohan to develop his own new techniques based on his beast form. Just as Goku created variations for Ultra Instinct and Vegeta explored different forms of Ultra Ego, Gohan could develop exclusive abilities molded by his strategic mind and the brute force of his transformation. It would be the natural evolution of someone who has always been between two worlds, that of warriors and that of scholars. And of course, there is also the motivational factor. Gohan always unleashes his true power when he needs to protect those he loves. If he understands with Whis that he can use this power not only in moments of desperation but continuously, this would completely change his approach as a fighter. He would cease to be just Earth's emergency trump card and would become a truly active protector, as present as Goku and Vegeta. This possible alliance between Gohan and Whis may be precisely what was missing to balance the scales against Frieza. After all, Frieza reached his new stage training alone, in a vacuum of almost insane discipline. Gohan, on the other hand, could use his genius and angelic teaching to transform his beast form into something that Frieza could never predict or face directly. This would not just be a fight of strength, but of preparation and evolution of completely different styles. In the end, this is the great change that could occur. Gohan finally finding a fixed master in the figure of Whis. After a lifetime of fragmented training, he would have someone capable of polishing his true potential, someone who would not let his power fall asleep after the crisis passed. This would be the birth of a new Gohan, a warrior prepared not only to react, but to lead on the battlefield against Black Frieza and any other threat that arises. Training with Whis would be something completely different from anything Gohan has ever experienced. While Piccolo molded his discipline through hardness and Goku encouraged his natural instinct, Whis would work on his inner balance. He would probably focus on eliminating the emotional oscillations that cause Gohan to lose consistency, transforming the fury of the beast form into a constant and serene state. For Whis, the key would be to teach Gohan not to depend only on rage or despair, but to access this power naturally as part of his essence. Another important point would be the refinement of movements. Gohan, despite being extremely powerful, often fights directly without much concern for fluidity. Whis would change that, bringing him the notion of lightness, precision, and anticipation. If Goku learned with Whis to react without thinking through Ultra Instinct, Gohan could learn to use Beast as a natural extension of his body, mastering it to the point where every blow was accurate without wasting energy. This training would also open up the possibility for Gohan to create his own signature in the field of Saiyan transformations. While Goku and Vegeta followed different but complementary paths, Gohan could establish his as a fusion between angelic discipline and hybrid instinct. This would not only place him on another level of power, but also make him unpredictable for Frieza, who is accustomed to facing traditional versions of Saiyan power. But comment on what you thought of all this, and don't forget to like. Thank you very much for everyone's support, and until next time.